Members, you're most welcome. We are going to begin our survey dissemination webinar right now. And thank you so much for creating time to come and listen to the views that we obtained from the UG Scholarships Group. And so my name is Abel Walekhwa, and I'm going to be presenting this with my colleague, whom we designed this work together and we implemented it together, and we have analyzed this data together, and that is Dr. Musinguzi. Just for purposes of full disclosure, that Dr. Musinguzi is my mentor, and so I'm learning from him. So part of this work is part of the mentoring process that I'm learning from him as we go on. So just to pick it up from there, why did we think about this study? We felt that there was a lot of information which was being shared on those EOG scholarships group, and this information was hardly followed up. But also, we saw a very big problem, and we have termed it as stage 10 cancer, whereby you invite people for meetings like the ones we have right now, and we have very few people come for those live webinars or information sessions. For example, the UG Scholarships Group have a total of 7,000 members. And today, as we speak today, right now, we have only 17 members on the call. And so that is the cancer we are talking about. And so we felt that let's hear from members. And this study helped us to understand the people we are dealing with. We also foresaw a very big gap that very few people applied in the 2023-2024 window that we are still in right now. We mean those who are going to begin their studies in September this year or October this year. Although we have a very big number of people in the UG Scholarships Group, we had less than 4% apply for scholarships. And so we said, why? Why aren't people applying, yet we share those scholarships? The other motivation was the frequently asked questions on those UG Scholarships pages. We find that there's a lot of information they keep asking, and we felt we should use this chance to understand what people think and maybe clarify on few aspects. And indeed, this study has helped us to understand that. There has been a gap in understanding this scholarships landscape as well. And apart from the work we explored in 2022, which was very informative. So we felt that there is more work that needs to be done. And that is how we got motivated to design this study. In the 2022 study that we did, we asked a question: have you ever felt like you should consult somebody regarding career choices and career decisions? And 88% of the respondents told us that they have always wanted to consult. So that's how we said, oh, okay, let's hear from people such that we can understand what they think. But you may be wondering, who are these people who did this study? And so, like I told you earlier on, my name is Abel Walekhwa Wilson, and I'm the founder for African Center for Career Mentorship. So African Center for Career Mentorship is the one which is hosting this webinar. Is the one which is giving us the space, is the one which is giving us the Zoom link, is the one which is sharing some of the materials you will be coming across. And so I did this work with Dr. Musinguzi, who is a professor in Qatar. And personally, I'm a PhD student at University of Cambridge. That's where I am right now. So you may be wondering, what are these UG scholarships group? What are they? What are they all about? How did they even start? Because we have discovered that a number of people join these groups later on. People are joining these groups at different intervals. So you could be wondering, what are these UG scholarships group? Now, these UG scholarships group were formed around 4-5 years ago by people who are Ugandans by nationality, but they were doing their masters and PhD abroad. Now, when they were there, they saw so many opportunities abroad, but they also saw that there are few Ugandans abroad who were studying either masters or PhD for scholarships. They said, let's put a platform where we can be sharing information to our sisters and brothers so they can also apply and join us where we are. The truth is that when you get out of Uganda and you go to some of these countries, you become lonely if you don't have a brother or a Ugandan near you or close to you. But if you have a Ugandan whom you know is near you, that person becomes a brother and a sister immediately. Now, these groups it's a voluntary initiative. There is no funding for it, and there is no donation to these groups so far. So the members you see whom I've just shown on the right here, and others that we are with, including those of Atai Faith and others, if you can just check on the UG scholarships groups, those admins you see, they do this work voluntarily. No one pays them to share resources, but also to coordinate the work that goes on there, delete the scammers, delete those who share wrong information. No one pays them to do that work. We felt we should have that information clearly shared with you so you can understand what these groups are all about. These groups do not award scholarships. They do not. These groups do not share all the scholarships related information, because from what we have seen, people join those groups and they expect to receive a scholarship by them just mere joining the group. They expect to receive all the information that they will need, I'm putting that in quotes, on that UG scholarship group. So I want you to know that those groups, they may not provide all the information you need. They may not provide all the scholarships you need, but they are a beginning point for us. So you can start from there and build on. There is no secretariat or staffs appointed to ensure those groups function well. I'm sharing this because of the results that we found. We felt we should clarify on some of these things from the beginning so that you can understand them very clearly. These are students-led groups with mentors on them. For example, like I've told you, I'm a PhD student. The Okero Emmas are PhD students in London. They are Thai Faiths, they are PhD students in London. Sylvia is a PhD student in the US. So these members are just students that are having a heart of giving back to Ugandans. I think we should clap for these students, because amidst the work they have, they are saying we should help our brothers and sisters, join us wherever we are. But we have mentors as well. Dr. Dan is a professor in Qatar, and he says, no, let me help Ugandans. Let me help my brother and my nieces and my nephews as well. And so he keeps mentoring us for us to serve you better. Like I've told you, they are masters and students across the board. But one thing I want to share with you, which I want you to understand very clearly, that because it is a student-led group, these students have assignments. These students have projects. These students are really busy. Why am I sharing this information? This information is important for you because you need to understand as you're requesting for information, or even as you're engaging, you need to understand this background. These students, they have so many things they are chasing. And so once you understand that, the tone at which you request for information, but even the expectation you should expect from these groups maybe will be tamed. I want to mention that clearly. So let's now tell you what you people said in the survey. Like I said earlier, we have a very big number there. We have over 7,000 people on those groups. And we were able to get feedback from 305. So we want to really thank those who gave us their views. Those views have been very resourceful in us understanding what you people think. So we got views from 305. Quite a small number as per the catchment population, but it gave us an idea what you people think, but also what you people want us to do for you moving forward. And I've shared these results. We have shared these results with other members on the executive, so they are able to understand what you think. So we asked a very hard question. we asked a very hard question. How long have you been on these UG scholarships groups? We found that majority of the people have been there for more than a year. So that was interesting for us to know. We asked another question. How many scholarships groups are you on? We came to realize that 87% of the people reported that they are on one scholarships group. But we found a good number of people, over 40 people telling us that they are in more than one scholarships group. Now, something we want to clarify, that you don't need to be in more than one scholarships group. Actually, I'm humbly requesting you, if you are on this call, or if you're going to watch this recording after this talk, and you are in more than one scholarship group, kindly exit other 4 and just be in one. We have found the people who are in 6 scholarships group. So you don't need to be in all the 6. Just be in one, because the information we share is almost the same across. I'm humbly requesting you, because if you can be in 6, you are blocking other 5 people who could benefit from this information, because they get full very fast. We asked members, why are you in more than one scholarship group? Well, we wanted to know what they think. And people say they have no problem with being in many scholarships group. And so they thought that different information may bypass them if they're in more than one scholarships group. Partly, yes, because the conversation which may be taking place in the other group may not take place in the other group. But we think that on average, most of the information is going to be the same. So please, you exit other groups and give chance to your brothers and sisters to also join other groups. Then we asked, what made you to join the scholarships group? Now, this was the most challenging response that we got. 88% of the respondents said they came there to receive a scholarship. Indeed, they told us that the people who told them to join those groups told them that immediately you join this group, you have received a scholarship already. So we think that we need to clarify that when you just join that group, there is no guarantee that you've got a scholarship. So you need to apply. You need to follow up scholarships shared. You need to attend live sessions. You need to ask questions. That is how you will get a scholarship. But the people who responded told us that they came there to receive a scholarship. And actually, later on when we asked them, they said they were told by somebody who went to their university and gave them this link to join, that immediately you join, you have got a scholarship. So that is not true. That is just an information sharing group. Now, what shocked us is this, because there is when we saw this late last year, that was December, we saw that there was a big problem. People just joined the group and they don't know what to do. So we have an orientation video, which we share with the people for them to watch such that they can be guided. So we asked people, have you watched the orientation video? 72% of the respondents say they haven't watched the orientation video. Now that should concern us. 72% have not watched the orientation video. Now that means that they are not sure what to do when they join those UG scholarships group. So we asked members, do you actually know what to do when you're on those UG scholarships group? 57% of the respondents, they say they don't know what to do. Now that should concern us as the administrators of the UG scholarships group, because the people are on the page, but they don't know what to do. They need to be supported. But you can know what to do if you attend live sessions, because that is how some of the equations are clarified. But also you can get to know what to do if you ask a question on those pages that, please, what should I do? If you just keep quiet, you will never know. So I'm requesting that whenever you have something that you're not sure about, please ask. Don't keep quiet. Okay, we asked. For those who said that, we also asked another question. What do you think are some of your roles? Now, 82% that their role is to follow up on the shared information. Although many say that their role is to follow up, we saw that very few were actually following up on the shared information. So we are requesting that you interpret that 82 with caution. But some people say they don't know their obligation, that their work is just to read the posts, but also to share the content with their friends, which has been shared there. But we asked a very interesting question. Do you think this UG scholarships group is useful? 93% told us that these UG scholarships groups are useful. So we thank you for that feedback. We thank you we are happy that you notice that actually these UG scholarships groups are really useful. We asked, would you recommend this UG scholarships group to another person? 94% said yes, they would recommend the UG scholarships group to another person. No wonder we have been seeing very many people joining, but also friends saying, please add my colleague, add my friend, add my sister. So we are happy to get to understand that actually you value these groups and you are happy to recommend a person to come and also learn from them. So we asked, why would you recommend a friend to join this UG scholarships group? Now, 85% said that they are assured of scholarship information and related tools. That was great for us to know that you have that belief, that you have that very good attitude, that you think that when you recommend a colleague to come, they will get the scholarship information and related tools. That's great for us to know. So we asked that, do you actually know who to consult when you're on those UG scholarship pages? 44% say they don't know who to consult. So members on the executive, members on the administration of the UG scholarships group, we need to help there. They don't know who to consult. So we are going to clarify on that as we go on with our presentation. So we asked members, how do you rate the quality of the resources that are shared on those UG scholarships group? 80% of actually 90% of the respondents said that the quality is good. So for those who said excellent and good, 90% of them said the quality is good and great. And so that's great for us to know that you think that the quality of the information shared or the resources that we share are of good quality, and so you can trust them. So we asked that, do you think you have benefited from this UG scholarships group? Now, 62% said yes, they have benefited from the UG scholarships group. And they went ahead to tell us how they have actually benefited. That was great for us to know, because since I told you this is a voluntary role, when you hear those the positive feedback, that encourages us to continue pressing on and continue serving you. I'm going to invite my colleague to take you on from there, and we'll continue sharing with you what we found out from this survey. Dr. Dan, kindly take it on.
I'm going to take you through the qualitative aspects of our research, which really gives us an interesting perspective on what's going on within these groups. Now, if you've just joined us, welcome. We are looking at the state of the Uganda WhatsApp groups for scholarships. Boom. We asked people, how did you benefit from these groups? And we've got some qualitative information, which is quite interesting. And one of you told us the information she or he got from these groups helped him to win a fully funded scholarship to Ireland. Good. And somebody used this information to be able to apply for a scholarship in Hungary. And that person is still waiting for the committee's decision. Good luck. If this is you, good luck. And someone said that the information we share here on these groups helped him or her to know how to make an outstanding CV on their own. This is very important. Let me repeat. They were able to learn how to make an outstanding CV on their own. Now, if you are here and your CV does not have outstanding contributions, actually you haven't started looking for scholarships. Most of you and most of us are missing on big opportunities because our CVs are in traditional formats of 1900 or before Mussolini and his colleagues were born. If you haven't watched our videos on how to make an outstanding CV, I'm referring to these two videos. Please, after here, don't even take a shower. Listen to these two videos for the next 3 days and start revising your CV. Because opportunities are going to come, but they will find your CV in that old format. And guess what? You will not win. The CV is the most important document you ever write. Unfortunately, schools, universities are not teaching most of us how to write an outstanding CV. And we've been able to decode how to write an outstanding CV using the movie trailer technique. And Abel was generous enough to put out these videos so that you can be able to know what to do. Now, I also encourage you to look at this YouTube channel for Africa Center for Career Mentorship. There are a lot of resources on how to win fully funded scholarships. So we've got a lot of success stories. All the webinars that you missed, let me repeat, all the webinars you missed are on this YouTube channel. So from here, go and start watching content on this YouTube channel. Some people have got guidance on how to look for scholarships from somewhere else. Did you know that you can get scholarships on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Twitter? So to us, this is a plus, okay? And we're able to get some guidance from a scholarship winner on how to write outstanding essays. And guess what? Boom, they were called for chevening interview. Wow, wow, wow. This is beautiful. And people are attending different webinars and they are getting techniques and tips on how to apply for different scholarships. This is beautiful. When I see this, my heart warms up. Some people have been able to get motivated, okay? Actually, some were almost giving up, but the success stories that are shared on these groups via the webinars, they were able to get encouragement and say, wait a minute, I need to continue the journey. I can't give up. And getting some updates on scholarship information really has been valuable to some people because they are even able to pass that information to their mentees, to their friends, and to their colleagues. So what a blessing. Are you sharing the information you get? If you're not sharing information, guess what? It could be the reason you're not winning a fully funded scholarship. Some people told us that they were able to get information about coaching and mentoring, our coaching and mentoring programs. Abel and I and other mentors, we've got our own coaching and mentoring programs. So through these groups, somebody came to know about these coaching programs. And guess what? He's about to start mentorship. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. And some have been able to get knowledge on how to answer questions, but also information about how to prepare for the documents that you need, like a passport, going for those English proficiency tests. Okay, they were able to get that information. Now, if you are here and you don't have a passport, hello? If you are here and you don't have a passport, you are not ready to start the journey of looking for a scholarship. You need to first go and get a passport and come back. We will be able to continue. Because things are going to develop fast. You'll be required to have a passport. And by the way, based on what we are seeing these days, that some applications, they want you to put the passport number in so that you can continue. So if you don't have a passport, you haven't yet started looking for scholarships. Other people, they've been able to try. I like trying, okay? They've made good attempts in terms of applying for these opportunities. And some are benefiting from the mentorship programs through the webinars we are hosting. Then people have learned how to write statement of purpose to prepare for their PhD in other countries of their choice. So good things are happening in these groups. That's the beauty of the whole thing. Wow, 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 wow. Things are happening. Guess what? Through these WhatsApp groups, people have been able to learn to apply using a big why. The big why is guiding their applications. Now, if you are here and you don't know how to identify and state or describe your big why, we've got this video. You need to go and watch it. And it's so painful that a video like this, where Abel gave a very good example of how to articulate a big why, is just watched by 116 people. So this is one of the key videos that you need to have or to watch so that you can know how to articulate your big why. Nobody is going to give you a scholarship with a small why. A small why doesn't sell. People have been able to know what's the landscape of scholarships in Uganda. I know most of us want to study in Uganda, but people have been able to learn that opportunities in Uganda are limited. And guess what? Some have been nominated for the Commonwealth Scholarship. Wow, wow, wow. And people have been able to see many opportunities that they didn't know that they exist, which is very good. And some are really applying and they're waiting for feedback. How many scholarships have you applied for? Are you waiting for feedback? Or you're just on the fence, seated and the legs are in the air and you're just waiting for some day, for some time you wake up and start applying? Guess what? If you're not applying, some people are applying and they will be winning those scholarships very, very, very soon. So start applying now or tonight. And people have been able to learn what really it takes to prepare for a scholarship application. It's hard work. It's not lottery. It's hard work. Some of you who came or joined and want to be awarded scholarships, you need to know this. It's hard work. So people have been able to know that they need to do some work, and they are doing that, which is very, very interesting. And others have been able to apply for other scholarships like Commonwealth, but they have not been successful. This is brilliant. This is good. It warms up my heart. Because if I know if you've been applying and you're not successful, the next time you apply, you'll be successful. Hear me. Every rejection you get, it's a step closer to winning. And a rejection is not a death sentence to your dream of winning a fully funded scholarship. Through these rejections, we learn. Now, there is a very good story here of George. You can even Google his name. He shared his story. He applied for different scholarships. The first one, reject, up to 15. That's not enough. Guess what? Reject, up to scholarship 22 rejection letters. Now, if he had given up, he wouldn't have gotten the acceptance letter for the scholarship 23 that he applied for. But you can see a lot of work goes into these scholarships. If I may ask, how many rejections have you got so far? If you're not getting any rejections, and you're not winning a scholarship, that means you're not applying. And you will not learn by just watching others win. You will not learn by just coming and attending these webinars and you go back home feeling warm and then you sleep. If you want to learn how to swim, you have to jump into the waters and start swimming. I know the water will go into the nose, it will be painful, but you learn how to swim. We don't learn swimming by just reading textbooks or watching friends swim. We go into the pool and start swimming. What am I saying? Start applying, start getting rejected because you will win. Trust me on this. He gives a very interesting closing remark. He says, stick to your script. It's worth it. I'm a living testimony. It doesn't matter how many rejections you get, but one day you will receive that successful application. And trust me, you will thank me later. Most of us were rejected, but we finally won fully funded scholarships. And guess what? Through the information shared here, people were able to go and try these English proficiency tests. Someone has a score of 7, which is sufficient. Do you read that? Sufficient for me to get into any university around the world. Wow, wow, wow. We are very lucky that on these groups, on some of these groups, we've got Miss Lois Nakivuka. She's an ex-British Council examiner for IELTS. It's a blessing. It's a huge blessing to have her on. And she's willing to share her experience. In fact, she has made 2 videos on this subject of English proficiency tests. And actually, even to make the deal even more sweeter, she offered to give us a discount on whoever wants to go for English proficiency tests. Okay? She owns Anglo Smart Options, a company that trains professionals on how to excel in all English proficiency tests. So it's very beautiful to have such resourceful people on these groups. But how many of us have watched this video? I can see 164. How many are from the UG WhatsApp groups? This one, 137. How many have watched this to listen to her experience? Wow, 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 wow. Okay. And guess what? Some people have been able to know other open opportunities and they're applying. What a blessing. But how many of us are using this blessing? Actually, what's going to stop us from winning fully funded scholarships is our writing skills. If your writing skill is not up to date, trust me, you will struggle. Even if somebody reviews your motivation letter, CV, or research proposal, but if your writing skills are not up to date, you'll struggle. Now, looking for a scholarship is just one part. There is another part. When you win it, you need to maintain it. Every 6 months, you need to submit progress reports, how you are doing. If you're struggling in writing your dissertation for PhD or for master's by research, you'll be thrown away. I started with people whom had to be chased away, who were home and relax because they could not continue. Why? They were not able to write well. And some people have been able to learn a lot of things. Okay. This one says procedure for admission. I think this is French. Merci beaucoup. Yes, comment ça va? Very, very interesting. So our audience is from all parts of the world, and even some speak French. I think, wow, wow, wow. A lot of learning is happening in these groups. Now, whereas people are benefiting, there are those that are not benefiting. And we wanted to know exactly why are they not benefiting? Because to us, that would help us to put in place strategies to help them so that everybody can benefit from being part of these groups. Okay. And some people say they have not been able to benefit because there is a need for support on how to write winning essays. Okay. But the question is, how do we train you on how to write winning essays when you're not attending webinars on how to write winning essays? They haven't been able to find specific scholarships for their field, and some are not yet ready to apply to any scholarship program. Maybe they're still looking around, they are preparing, and some of them have not been able to benefit. Guess what? They've just joined recently, but I like how they put it. I'm sure I'll benefit from it. Whoa, some have been able to apply, but not successful. That's okay. I have not been lucky to win. This thing's not about luck, it's about hard work. Okay, they haven't been able to find relevant scholarship information. I understand that. And what could be happening is that people are just waiting to be given scholarship information so that they can jump into action and start applying. The focus is on master's and PhD programs. And then me, I want to go for undergraduate, but there are no scholarships for undergraduate. Let me tell you something. Listen, where you see scholarships for masters, there are scholarships for undergraduate studies. Where you see PhD scholarships, there are scholarships for undergraduate. Because if a university is offering a scholarship in masters or for a PhD program, trust me, they're not offering only that program. They've got other programs. Okay, so follow that master's scholarship or scholarships. They will take you to the website of a university, and once you are at that website of the university, look around for the programs they are offering. Trust me, you'll find that they've got undergraduate scholarships.
The doctor reminded me of the framework that you use, it flowing river tech. How do you call that?
Yes, I call it follow the river technique. For example, if you see a river flowing, if you follow it where it's flowing to, it will lead you to a big water body. It could be a lake, an ocean, or whatever. Likewise, you might see a scholarship that doesn't make sense to you, but if you follow it, it will lead you to what you want, even other bigger opportunities. The universities are like supermarkets. Supermarkets don't sell just one product. If they have got bread, trust me, they've got sugar, and they've got tea leaves, and they've got other products. Likewise, a university, if it has got masters, has got undergraduate, it has got, if you're looking for PhD scholarships, you see a master's scholarship. Don't say this doesn't concern me. It concerns me. It concerns you. Follow it and you will find that they've got what you are looking for. For example, if I wanted a scholarship in tourism management, I see a scholarship for chemistry. I'll follow it. Okay, I will not go to the Department of Chemistry. I'll look for other department where I think my course or my program is being housed. And trust me, I'll be able to get a scholarship in my field. Follow irrelevant scholarships to be able to find relevant scholarships. You missed it. Let me repeat. Follow irrelevant scholarships. They will lead you to relevant scholarships. You thank me later. Some people kind of like, they've just joined. I mean, they're just there waiting, but you're going to wait for how long? Some of them have just joined and they've been here for maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks. You don't need to be a senior kind of member to be able to start winning. File, follow up, ask questions, attend webinars, write the essays, apply, fail, apply again, fail, and you'll be able to win. Same thing we've got. I've not seen a scholarship in my field of study. I've not seen an undergraduate scholarship. I understand you're not benefiting because you're waiting for things that are already in your sight. Okay, they're just in the backyard. You just go, open the door and you get a lot of opportunities. Wow. And somebody said, be kinder. We know where this is coming from, because Abel something made a very good comment. He said that he would delete content He will suspend people, meaning any content that's not related to scholarships, we will remove it, okay, and we will suspend people. If you want to be suspended from those groups, post things that are not related to scholarships, you see what will happen. Okay, we want to maintain the integrity of those groups. They are very, very valuable. They're not these other groups where it starts like a wedding, a group for wedding, and then turns into a marketing whatever, and then everybody start posting things. No, scholarship opportunities only should be submitted or shared in those groups. Okay, somebody saying it's not yet their turn. Yes, your turn is coming, but when is it coming? If you're not applying, it won't come. You need to make it come. Hello? Your turn won't come. You have to make your turn come. Okay? By starting the application process. Very important. Okay? Post more scholarships on bachelors because I'm not able to benefit. There are no scholarships for bachelors. Actually, and this will surprise most of you, we don't need more scholarships to be posted on those groups. We already have enough scholarships already. We've taught people how to search for scholarships that are not advertised. Okay, we've given people resources on how to use YouTube videos to look for scholarships, how to use LinkedIn. We've got a list of professionals on LinkedIn who share scholarships. Okay, so the issue is not about the lack of scholarships or limited information on scholarships. No, it's about the lack of motivation to apply what's already available and also to look for scholarships beyond those WhatsApp groups. Okay, encourage members to invest time and money. This is very important. Okay, in doing things that really matter. Go for that English proficiency test. Get a passport. I would like to win, but guess what? I've got a tight schedule. Really? Okay. Now, if you don't know the people who are very busy, there are people who are talking to you now. Abel has got a full PhD, he has got about 4 companies to run, he has got a family. But how come that he finds time to be online? Teach people, suspend people, mentor people, even has got his own coaching and mentoring program. Back to me, who is talking to you now. I've got a lot of things, okay? I've got over 7 courses to look at, to grade. Everything is very chaotic. The issue is not lack of time. It's lack of motivation. You always find time for what you value most. What's the next step? We ask people, what do you want us to do? People said more scholarships to be posted. Okay, we'll post. But I told you we don't need more. Okay, support for reviewing individual essays and all these application documents. Okay, guess what? Before people review your essays, you need to know how to write them. And if you're not attending webinars on these things, how are you going to learn how to write them? People are saying, okay, ask people to share scholarship links that are in their prospective fields. Yes, so don't wait for Emmanuel, don't wait for Abel, don't wait for Priscilla, don't wait for James to share information. You, when you apply, if you land on some scholarships, please share. It will help many people. Somebody asked about how to get results in the World Education Service. It hasn't been answered, but that was answered a long time ago. But even when you go to YouTube and you type that same question, you'll get answers. A lot. Bring successful candidates so they can be able to share with us. We've brought a lot of people to share with us. Go to the YouTube for Africa Center for Career Mentorship YouTube channel. You have a lot of success stories. A lot.
Dr. Dan, just there. Dr. Dan, but yep. They don't attend those success story sessions. That's the other thing we should note, that people don't attend those sessions there.
Yes, we will continue. Thank you for pointing this out. We'll continue suspending people, those scammer links and whatever. We'll keep removing people and deleting content. Very, very important. Immediately remove. Yes, we'll remove all the marketers. We are removing them. I'd like to thank all the admins who are really helping in monitoring those groups so that we only maintain high quality content. Now, still again, you can see profile people who have got have won scholarship to talk to us. We're already doing that. Okay, so if you're not attending the webinars, you're not watching the recordings, then it's problematic for all of us. To have specific mentors for specific scholarships, I don't know how that's possible, but somebody suggested something very interesting, and that's Stephen from Portugal. He shared his experience. He shared his experience sometime back of you scholarship hunters form small groups whereby you encourage each other. You can even review each other's documents before coming to a mentor or somebody going to review them. Trust me, you can learn a lot from your fellow students. So I don't know how far that idea has gone. Somebody suggested it in group 1, but I would like us to revive that spirit of small groups. Okay? More webinars on scientific writing. Yes, we will bring them. Okay, we'll host them, but will you attend? Good information. Okay, share tips on interviews twice a week. Brilliant suggestion. Okay, we may not be online twice a week, but we will appear once a week and share some materials on how to do these things. Try to rate every post. Brilliant suggestion. But how do we do this? Maybe you could help us to know how to rank every post. Wow. And people want kind of like a YouTube video giving details on how to apply. Yes, good idea, but you know that every scholarship has got its own application requirements. So keep watching the content we create. You'll be fine. A lot of information. Host people who have that one, we already covered it. People want us to avoid information overload. I understand where this is coming from. You see, when you go to a buffet, you need to be very careful. Pick the foods that you can eat. It doesn't mean that you have to eat all the food that's being served at the buffet. Otherwise, your stomach will swell and you may not return home safely. So these groups are like buffet. Pick what's relevant to you, and the rest leave for James, John, and Grace. You won't have that issue of information overload. We need support on essay writing. Yes, we offer that. Okay. More marketing of the group or groups. Actually, we don't need more people on those groups. Hello? The groups are already full. We already have enough people. What we are looking for are people who are ready to transform their lives using the information we shared. We could have a WhatsApp group with 1 trillion members and have almost none of those members applying. It won't help us. So for us, we are on quality, not quantity. And for that matter, we will not advertise those groups. However, we encourage you, if you know somebody who is there and would benefit from these groups, you can share the link and they'll be able to join. Guess what, guys? There are a lot of information that really we cannot share here. Look, this is what you gave us. A lot of information. What we are giving you is just a tip of the iceberg. But we just wanted to share with you the little we've been able to pick from the conversation that you had with us or the questionnaire that you filled in. So we've got some reflections, and Abel, would you like to start on these reflections? What have we gathered from all this data?
Okay, so we have some reflections that we have come up with from this data that you've shared with us. The first one is that actually these UG scholarships groups are a resource. If we think that they are very useful from the response that you've given us, Secondly, sharing information on those UG scholarships groups is not enough. We have noticed that you need mentors and you need coaches to help you navigate the journey. And so me and Dr. Danny Musinguzi and other people are available to support you on the same. Just inbox us and we shall be able to continue with you. The expectation from the members are really so high. You were expecting a lot on this UG scholarships group. Maybe because you didn't know that they are voluntary. Maybe because you didn't know that they are students-led. Maybe because you didn't know that the students who lead them, they are actually more busy than you. They are doing their masters. They are very busy in London, in the US, in the UK. I think you didn't know, but now I think you know. So at least you support them by doing some research yourself as well, or even by helping to post, or even by guiding somebody who are yet to join. We shouldn't be removing your colleague who joined yesterday because they didn't know. Maybe help them to give them the orientation video for them to watch, so they don't make the mistakes and occupy the time for these busy students in London and everywhere. We think there is need for a secretariat which is facilitated to run and manage this UG scholarships group. We are going to run another study next year, and we ask you how much amount of money would you be willing to contribute to supporting a secretariat. Those will be staffs who are employed to help you and share information and remove people and so forth. It is a serious suggestion. It is our own reflection, me and Dr. Dan. We are going to share with the administrators of the UG scholarships groups. And if they think it's a good idea, we shall take it forward and we shall engage you. We need to give a clear step-by-step guide to anyone who is joining these groups. By the way, this step-by-step guide we gave them on the orientation video. Dr. Dan was able to actually put this video together. So we think that before you recommend your colleague to be added on the page, please you go and watch that orientation video. Otherwise, you will get there and you'll be stuck. Okay, for you, if you had not watched it, because we found 72% had not watched this video, please you go and watch it. It will guide you a lot. Most members are not watching the webinar recordings. It is a concern. Emmanuel Okero has templates, has recordings, has teachings on how to write personal statements, on how to write CVs, on how to prepare for applications and even interviews. The challenge is that even when Emma Okero shares that information, you don't go to watch it. You don't go to follow up. How do we know you don't watch? Because today you ask the same question, next week you ask the same question. Actually, many of them inbox us asking the same question which Emmanuel Okero either answered or that is answered in the recording. Next. Many people joined the UG scholarships group. I mean, we found that people told us that actually for them, they are not ready. Okay, they are not yet ready to apply. But then why did you join the UG scholarships group? If you are not yet ready to apply, we request that you exit such that you come later when you are ready to apply. Why is that important? We don't congest your phone. Why is that important? You give space to your colleague, your sister, your brother, who is very hungry for scholarship information. So if you, like for example, actually, last week alone, I spoke to 11 candidates who are in second year and first year at Metropolitan University in Uganda, at Makerere University in Uganda, at UCU. 11 of them, just in last week. And I told them it is early for you. It's a bit early. I mean, you're in first year, and your course is for 4 years. You are in second year, and your course is for 3 years. A bit early. So you joined a bit early. So if possible, maybe you exit such that we don't overcount you and overcount on you. Then the other thing is that many people are in up to 5 UG scholarships group. That one is worrying us. And we are begging that please exit some of them. I am very happy, Dr. Dan, is that already I've seen 4 people who have exited many other groups that they were in. That's great. Please exit some of them and just remain in one because the information will be the same. The other thing we saw is that people are waiting for all the information to be shared in those UG scholarships group, because somebody says they haven't shared on the information for this. They haven't yet shared for undergrads. Please share for undergraduates. That means somebody is seated, is carrying their hands up, is waiting for somebody to share. Now, could you be that person? Could you do some research, then you share and rescue very many people who were waiting? So we think that you should stop waiting. Please begin searching. The hunt and follow-up attitude is low. This one is worrying us because we have an app which is called Digest For Me app. This app has undergraduate scholarships, master's scholarships, PhD scholarships, postdoctorate scholarships, and other fellowships. Now, people don't use them. Now, somebody told us that for me, I deactivated those UG scholarships group. So what somebody did is that they don't open those messages. They don't open them. So the day they want to ask something, they just release those messages and they pour over 200 messages and they pour, and then they ask their question. So that means that either that question was asked last week or last month, for them, they don't care. So there is a gap there. We think that we need to improve in that gap. Most members focus on the famous scholarships, study destinations, and last-minute preparation webinars. What do we mean here? If today was a session for chevening, we would have 130 people on the call. If today was a session for Commonwealth, we would have 200 people attend this meeting. If today was a session for Gates Cambridge, we would have 200 people join this page. That is not bad. If this session was how to apply to Oxford, to Harvard, to UK, to USA, we would have 200 people on the call. That is okay. If this session was to prepare for chevening when the deadline is tomorrow, we would have this room full. And for us, we are saying, don't be waiting for last minute. Don't be waiting for last minute, then you come. No. African Center for Career Mentorship and Digest For Me app, we have made it a habit that every Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m., we are helping you to improve free of charge. The Zoom is ours. You are all just come in and listen and ask questions. Any questions you want. Please don't wait. Don't wait for the last minute. And don't only target UK and USA. Your luck could be in India. Your luck could be in Ireland. Like, for example, from September last year up to now, we African Center for Career Mentorship has 5 PhD scholarships won and has 7 master scholarships won. But you know what? Only 4 are from UK. Another one, the 5th one is in the US. 2 are from Sweden. Another one is from Ireland. So we are saying that your luck could be elsewhere. Don't only be waiting for Cambridge and Oxford or London School. Now, reflection, another one is that people think that mere joining these groups, they are being awarded a fully funded scholarship because 88% say they joined the group to get a scholarship. Now, one thing we want to clarify is that by you mere joining the group, you will not get it. Actually, 3 of them told us private that for us, they were told that, actually, let me be very clear. This one, they said they are from Cambogo University. Somebody came for career guidance and told them, anyone who wants to get a scholarship as early as tomorrow, just join this UG scholarships group. So they gave students of Cambogo University and they all came and joined. Then they were seated waiting for their names to be announced that you've received this scholarship here. Colleagues, that is not the case. We need to apply. We need to search for information. Don't wait. Please don't sit to be awarded. Don't wait to be awarded a scholarship. So the orientation video has not been watched. And that partly explains why many people don't know what to do. That partly explains why many people don't know who to consult. So you've not watched it. I'm requesting that you go and watch it. It was, Dr. Danny took time to make that video publicly available for you to go and use it. We are happy that we have over 1,100 views already. But our pages have 7,000 members. So 6,000 haven't watched it. So people are saying they are not sure who to consult. I think at admin side, we need to have the contact list in terms of names of the coaches, who is doing what, like Okero, what is his email address, what is his phone number, such that people can know who to consult. And I think Emmanuel is on the call. We can work with you on that. The other thing we are noticing that we need more coaches. We need more mentors on the call, because if Emma has to chase the 1-year master's scholarship at London School of Higher and Clinical Medicine, and he has to review 30 essays from 30 people from Uganda, and all those essays are raw. I'm saying raw in quotes, because they have not been attending these sessions. They have not been using these frameworks. Then Emma may not finish his master's if we want him to review 40 essays within 1 week, because you're chasing a deadline. So we need more coaches to help people. We need more mentors on the call. We think that there is need for smaller group to help you people in the search. What we mean is that if we have 70 people looking for targeting law scholarships and there are those pages, you can form a smaller group for law students alone, and you can discuss among yourselves. You can only be sharing law-related scholarships alone. You can peer review each other's essays. You can ask specific support that you need and say, Abel, you know what? Come and help us in this specific area. For example, if 7 of you are targeting physics scholarships or public health scholarships, you can form a small group for public health. That idea was brought by Stephen. Stephen is one of the success stories, and he's doing his master's in Portugal. But that initiative needs to be done by you. Like we have told you, these big UG, they are 9 already. These UG scholarship groups, they are 9 already. Do not expect Sylvia, who is battling with her PhD in the US, to be able to manage the small groups for law as well. She can't manage. So please let it be your initiative, and then it can help you a lot more. Yes, we need more success stories. That's true. We have 32 winners on those UG scholarships group. They may not be winners, but they have benefited from the UG scholarships groups, and they are willing to come and share their testimonies. So, Dr. Dan, kindly take on the remaining session.
Based on our observations, we've noticed something quite interesting. That some people, when they contact us to ask about things of scholarships, their self-introductions are really disappointing. An example would be somebody gets into your inbox and says, "Hi, Dr. Dan," and then keeps quiet. I also look at it and keep quiet. So like after 2 days, somebody comes back. "Hello there. How are you doing? How is there?" Really? And somebody says, "I want a scholarship." Okay, you want it. Or another one says, "Help me apply for this scholarship. How should I sell myself for this scholarship?" I'm telling you, that kind of approaching people, you may not be getting some replies because of that, because some people are not going to ask you, "Oh, hello, okay, proceed. What do you want? How can I help you?" So we may need some training on self-introductions. What we've been using is outdated. And some of us are not getting opportunities because we're introducing ourselves in old ways of doing things, and they cannot sell. And what do you say in the first few seconds when you open your mouth? Telling me your name, where you are studying or where you are working? No. Value and impact should come first. Also, we need to train people how to use digital platforms like Zoom, Teams, Google Meet, and others for meetings. It might not be about joining meetings, but for some of you who are going for PhD or masters by research, you will be requested to make a presentation on Zoom. Do you know where to click? Do you know how to share your screen? Because nobody's going to teach that. Using Teams, do you know how to share things on Teams? For example, if you got a video that you need to play, do you know which things to check so that your video can be played? So this is a big thing. And one thing we've noticed that after the webinar, our inboxes are full with excuses. Oh, sorry, Dan, I missed that webinar. I didn't know it was today. Or I forgot about it, blah, blah, blah. Surely, we're in 2024. If you're not using electronic calendars to keep track of meetings and things, you haven't started living. So we need to teach our people all these things, or we need to teach ourselves, me inclusive, to use all these digital platforms. Okay. Now, people mentioned that there is information overload. And we think going forward, we may need some webinars training on what I call SIM, Scholarship Information Management. Why? Some people are drowning in the little information we are sharing. Let me tell you, if I were to share all the scholarships I have on my phone today, most people will exit those groups because I have got a lot. If I had to share all the tools that I have, most of us wouldn't handle. So what do we need? A session or a training on scholarship information management so that we don't have information overload. We also need to teach other people, and we've started this already, but specifically how to look for scholarships on other platforms other than the UG WhatsApp groups, because we don't want you to sit and wait for people to post and then you jump into action and start doing. We want you to know how to search for scholarships on LinkedIn. But by the way, do you have a LinkedIn account? Did you know that YouTube is the best platform for finding fully funded scholarship? X, Facebook, and other scholarship portals. I'll be sharing a very important file that has got over 200 scholarship portals for you to be able to look into those portals and get scholarships. But also, we said we need more mentors, we need more coaches. Okay. So what we are going to do is we're going to have some training. It will be 1 week training, okay, on how to start a coaching and mentoring program. We need to solve the issue of limited mentors and coaches. So when we call upon you, please come and learn. And starting a coaching and mentoring program is very, very important, because the world's strongest currency as we speak now is coaching and mentoring. And if you can have a coaching and mentoring group, it doesn't matter whether it's 2 people, 3 people, 5 people, 6 people. That means you are making impact. It will even transform the way you introduce yourself. Instead of saying my name is so and so, you start with I'm the founder of XYZ coaching and mentoring program. And selection committees will be very, very impressed by that, because coaching and mentoring is about transforming lives. Now, scammer links or spammer links are still confusing a lot of people. Even this morning, I was solving another issue. Somebody was asking, is this a scam or whatever? People are not able to detect scams from a distance. So we think we need something that I call CDET, okay, scam detection training, so people are aware on what to look for in links, because some links may look scammy or spammy, but they are not. They are genuine. So where is the line? We need a training for that. Now, another thing that we think we need is how to develop and describe your big why. Why do you need that PhD? Why do you need that master's? Why do you need that bachelor's degree? Your big why. When you contact me for the first time that you're going for master's or PhD, I ask you one question. Why do you need a PhD? Why do you need a master's? Because let's face it, you can live without a PhD. Why do you need a PhD? And most people kind of like disappear in thin air the moment I ask that question. And they start giving me funny answers, how they want to get more money, how they want to impress their girlfriends and boyfriends and what and what. That doesn't sell. You want a big job, you want to build a big house. That's a small why. A small why does not sell. A big why sells. Now, when Abel contacted me for the first time, I asked him the same question. Abel, why do you need a PhD? He gave me the most beautiful answer I've ever seen, and I've always been using it as an example in my coaching and mentoring program. Abel, would you please briefly tell us that big why? The same answer that you gave me, it still fascinates me up to today.
I'm impressed how you sent me 4 people who commented to you that they want to read hard and they be able, okay, they want to clearly articulate their big why like Abel did in 2021. I was happy to hear that the people you're coaching are looking forward to stating and describing their big why the way I did in 2021. But okay, so Dr. Dan, just like I told you in the beginning of my presentation this afternoon, that I am a mentee to Dr. Dan, and I joined his mentorship group in 2021. And the first question when I contacted him, by the how did I come to know him? A classmate of mine whom I studied with at Makerere University, called Tony Tindiebwa, had just met Dr. Dan, and they had worked on Tony Tindiebwa's CV. Now, because Tony knew that I was pursuing PhD scholar and scholarship opportunities for my second master's, because I told him that I wanted to do another master's in epidemiology and biostatistics. So Tony knew I needed a scholarship. So he told me, Abel, there is this gentleman called Dan Musinguzi. By the way, Dr. Dan, I've never told you. When Tony told me about you, the first thing I did was to get your name and post it online. So what popped up was your LinkedIn account. So I read about you. Quickly, I went to Google Scholar and I saw you had published papers. I said, okay, this is a genuine person. I've never told you that, but I did that in just a blink of an eye. In a blink of an eye, I had to quickly put your name online to see what comes up. I wrote Kemu. Then I went to Google Scholar to see, is this person? Who is this person they are talking about? When I saw you had published, I said, okay, this is an academician. Let me now contact him. So by the time I was answering to you, I knew whom I was talking to. By the way, you didn't know that background check that I did. So when Dr. Dan asked me a question that, why do you want to do a PhD? That was the first question I asked when I contacted him.
Breaking, Abel.
I am breaking. Sorry.
Yes, now we can get you. Yeah.
I'm standing outside. That's a problem because the time of office closed. So I'm standing outside. And you can see the love I have for the Ugandans. I'm standing here on the veranda for me to finish this talk before I can cycle home.
Thank you.
So can I continue?
Yes, continue, please.
When he asked me, why do you want to do a PhD? This is what I said, that currently I work with Office of the President, and we are working on COVID-19, which was true, by the way. By then we were working on COVID-19. I've identified that there is a disease which keeps coming. It hits the country and it goes back and it goes silent. And we are not sure when the next outbreak of that disease is going to be. That disease is called Rift Valley fever. It affects animals and humans. When it comes, it kills people and it kills animals like cattle, goats, and sheep. I want to do a PhD such that I can develop a predictive model for me to come and inform the country when the next outbreak of that disease is going to be. That is why I want to go and do a PhD. Dr. Dan, that was my response to you.
And what did I tell you?
You told me you are ready to do a PhD. You are mature. You told me you are ready and mature to do a PhD. And we immediately began the coaching program. The first thing that he did was to revamp my CV. The second thing that he did was to teach me how to contact the supervisors using the value impact technique. But he told me before we begin contacting these supervisors, let's make sure the CV is clear. So we took around 3 days working on the CV. And I had been applying and writing to people, and they wasn't getting any feedback. My colleague is on the call, Solomon Wafula, knows very well. Because by the time Solomon got his PhD to Germany, I was in touch with him and I was telling him how he was aware how I was struggling. He would even write for me recommendation letters, actually, because we lecture with him at School of Public Health at Makerere University. So Danny told me, the first thing you should, let's first of all work on your CV, let's be on standby. I should tell members here that I had applied up to 68 applications. I had made 68 applications before I joined Dr. Danny's coaching group. 68, and they were all rejections. I'm telling you, because for me, I thought the more I apply for, the better. When I met him, he told me, by the way, Abel, we don't need to apply. He asked me, how many do you want us to apply? I said, maybe, I don't know. Did I say 20 or 15?
You
and
said
he
around
told me,
25.
Yes, and he told me, we shall apply for one and we keep quiet. Okay. I told him, Daddy, are you sure? He said, we shall apply for a big one and we keep quiet and you will get it. I was so shocked when he told me that. Anyway, long story short, there was a professor whom I had been hunting. She's called Professor Crystal Donnelly at University of Oxford in the UK. I badly wanted to work with that lady because she's a strong mathematician and a modeler. Even right now, she's the head of statistics department at University of Oxford. So I told Dr. Dan, he told me, no, don't worry. So we worked on the CV and we used the value impact technique to contact her. I am telling you, we sent an email today. Within 4 hours, she had replied. Do you know the reply? Please send me your CV. I sent her the CV. She had replied after 1 hour. Can we have a Zoom interview tomorrow? Indeed, we had a Zoom interview the following day, but we had to do a mock interview to prepare for that one with Dr. Danny as well. Actually, I remember she talked to me when she was in her hangout. She was in the park. She was doing her leisure time. And her first question on the call was, Abel, why do you want to do a PhD? Good enough, Dr. Dan had guided me on that, on the value impact technique. I am telling you, the rest is history. We can have another day and I tell you about that. Even just in February, I flew to University of Oxford to go and give a guest lecture. I'm telling you, as a PhD student, she hosted me to give a guest lecture to her research lab. She's the head of department for statistics at University of Oxford. You can read about her. She's a star. Up to today, she's just waiting for me, and she's just dies working with me, and we are still working together. This is the 4th year when we are working together with her. Over, Dr. Dan.
Also, we noticed people would like more on CV design. Okay, but we've got a lot of materials. Personal statement. Personal statement. Resources are available. There are 2-page document with videos on personal statement, how to read these motivation letters. Yes. And also, we need to put emphasis on helping our people or helping ourselves value these scholarship webinars that are on different topics. If you're not able to attend, watch the recording. It takes a lot of energy to prepare these trainings, okay, only to get 5 people, 10 people.
Dr. Dan, I just want to tell members that amidst my PhD schedule, I had to sit down with Dr. Dan and we designed this study. We had to take time to analyze this data. This is not part of my PhD, please. I'm doing modeling for Rift Valley fever in Uganda. Nothing to do with scholarships work. Now, today, I was going to invigilate an exam, which I've just finished 3 hours ago. I've just finished exam invigilating. But I left Dr. Dan. We were preparing this talk. And Dr. Dan has spent 4 hours. Colleagues, I'm telling the truth. He has spent 4 hours updating these slides and adding in the content we are sharing right now. What am I saying? It takes a lot of time to prepare for these webinars. And it is so heartbreaking when you only get 2 people to attend the webinar, which you've advertised for a full week. SCCM has given us a free Zoom account, not paid for, amidst the busy PhD student life at Cambridge. I'm like, I have 3 hours to help my sisters and brothers, and people don't come. It is so painful, colleagues. Dr. Dan, over to you.
Yes, so it may not be our own webinar, me and Abel, but Emmanuel Okello hosts a number of webinars and other mentors. We're not talking about our webinars only, other webinars. Please value them and come and join. And the YouTube videos you see, we first edit them to remove kind of like a noise or pause so that you can have a smooth listening. It takes a number of hours to edit a video. So those recordings that you see on YouTube, just add this recording. It took somebody more than 4 hours to edit, to enhance it, to remove noise, to remove whatever. So we need to value these webinars. But most importantly, we may need some training on how to use Google. You may be saying, what's this old man saying? Yes, you heard me right. We need a training on how to use Google before we ask any questions. We get questions like, Dan, what's a scholarship? Dan, what's a scholarship? What's the difference between a conditional offer and an unconditional offer? What's a fellowship? What's a tutorship? Really? But if you can go and type those same questions in Google, you'll get answers. We had somebody the other day was struggling how to convert CGPA into percentage. I did a simple experiment. The moment somebody posted that question, I went to Google and said, how to convert blah, blah, blah. And I hit search. A lot of information, videos, what? I was like, oh, so we need that. But also, we are proposing, we need a new format to use in these groups when we ask questions or when we are looking for explanations on some things. And we may be wondering, what's this new way? How does it look like? It looks like this. Before you ask any question, okay, don't just tell us the question, but let members know what you have already done and found regarding that issue. Hello? What have you done already? And what sort of information do you have about that? So if you're asking me to tell you what is a scholarship, what do you already know about this thing of scholarship? You're asking me to help you design an outstanding CV. What have you done so far? And what did you find out? An example would be like this. I've searched on Google or somewhere else about A. I've found B about it. I would like to ask if I'm on the right track, and do you have any additional information, insights, or comments to share with me? Do you see how that goes? You already know something. You want either to confirm or to get more insights from our mentors. This will make our life very easy, and it will simplify your life because you will learn. Guess what? When I started my PhD, my professor could always he never answered most of my questions. He would say, go and find out, come and tell me, come and update me. And when we use that approach on the groups, people say we are rude, we are not kind, because we know where you're going, because nobody's going to spoon feed you when you get into your program. Now, in case you haven't found anything, you can say, I've searched on Google, I've found nothing, which is a rare case. Then you can go and say, I'm asking for information about X, Y, Z. Demonstrate to someone that you've done some work, you know a little bit of it. Even if you don't know, tell me that you've done something. Those were some of the training needs that we thought based on our experience and the many private messages we are receiving on a daily basis. You cannot imagine how many we receive in our inboxes. A lot of messages. So those have been the needs that we think needs to be addressed. But would like to take 5 minutes to hear from you. What are some of the training needs?
Samsung, good question. Just for your information, the motivation for me to help others, including how I'm standing on the veranda for the last 1 hour and a half, it's because I was helped. I'm telling you, I didn't even want to wait to finish the PhD before I can be helping my sisters and my brothers across. So the work you see us doing is aimed at helping you. So yes, the answer to you is very clear. And that's why our materials are readily available. And that's why we have free webinars every Tuesday. Please use the materials free of charge and go and you succeed. And you keep coming every Tuesdays at 7 to 8 p.m. and ask all sorts of questions and you'll be helped. Dr. Danny, over to you. I was responding to somebody's comment in the chat saying, please, can you also help other people? The answer, I was telling them, yes, already we are doing this, including this survey, these trainings, the weekly webinars, the YouTube channel, all of them are all tools for helping. And there are more others which are yet to come as well.
What we've been able to gather from your feedback is that the UG WhatsApp groups are just a gold mine. A lot of information is being shared. Many members are benefiting and many are yet to benefit. If you are there just waiting to benefit from someday or the other day, that may take long for you. Please start applying for these scholarships, okay? And know that you need to get into the driver's seat and drive. Hello? Let me put it differently. That you need to start looking for scholarships if you need to get that dream scholarship. No one is going to drive you to your dream scholarship. We all have got our own dreams. We are very busy, but we sacrifice to be here. So help us utilize this information. Some of us, the tools we use are paid tools, but we don't ask you to pay to attend these webinars. How many of you have paid to be here? But use that information to help yourself, but at the same time, you are helping us. The mentors who are here, I may not be able to mention names. If I mention names, it will take me 100 years to finish everything, to talk nice things about you. But allow me to say thank you so much for doing a great job. I've been on different WhatsApp groups, but the UG WhatsApp groups are different. We share valuable information, and all this is possible because we've got mentors, coaches who are sharing the experience. Some of them are PhD students, very busy, master's students, very busy with families, studies, but they spare that time to come and teach you or to look scholarships for you and share on those platforms. Start embracing these webinars, or if you're not able to attend, at least watch the recording, because if you can be able to watch those recordings or attend the webinars, you'll be able to transform your life, but also the lives of others. We learn from each other.
Dr. Dan, we should also emphasize that we watch how long they are watching them. In the back end, we are able to know, because what we notice is that the YouTube, the video is for 20 minutes and people are only watching it for 10 minutes. Or the YouTube is for 30 minutes, but somebody is watching for 2 minutes. By the way, it's YouTube tells us. I just want to tell members that as well.
And we are going to follow up this study with another qualitative study. It's called focus group discussions. We'll get groups of 10 or 8 or 9 people so that you can share more insights on what's going on how you want to be helped. We believe a questionnaire alone will not give us what we need. Yes, we've got a lot of data, but we also need to hear your perspectives. We'll take some questions.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dan and Mr. Abel, for these recordings. They are very good. Like for us, some of us who are looking for scholarships. But then I have a problem. Like for me, if at all I'm to talk on my own behalf, I completed my bachelor's degree in 2021. I've been on a search for scholarships. But every time I apply, I keep failing. But when I come back to the UG scholarship groups, they always encourage me that keep trying. But I don't really know how I can really improve, because you talked about the issue of CV. Yes, my CV could be lacking, but then how can I join these, how can I join your forums such that I can be able to improve on my CV and also learn more ways on how I can win these scholarships quicker?
Maybe let's have Birungi ask before we could proceed. Let's have some five comments and questions.
Yes, good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for the webinar. Yeah, don't know what people think and what people take this for, but me, it's real gold. Yeah, that's why I like to listen in, and I'm so thankful to you and Dr. Dan for every time. So actually, I wanted to respond partly to his question. One thing that I realized out of experience, Davis, is you searching for scholarship on your own actually may not be enough. I was a culprit also, and I know what it means. The truth is, I think everyone needs a mentor. From the time I met Dr. Dan, I've just known him for a few months, and I joined his program. Literally, like the whole scholarship season has changed. It has been like there's a drastic change in everything. So yes, you can listen into the information. You can search on your own for actually they can send Mr. Abel is always hitting my inbox because I'm always thankful for everything, and he doesn't know why. Sometimes I'm not thanking people, I'm not thanking anyone because I'm going to benefit, but I'm using that technique sometimes of just follow the river, you know. You may say it's about medicine, but when you hit the website of the other university, actually you find there is a lot more there. But I learned that technique from Dr. Dan. He told me, don't worry, just open anything. And every time I open, you find there is so much gold to mine, but on the upper side, it's just like soil. So the truth is, everyone needs a mentor in their life. On this journey, I've realized you really, really need a mentor. And the truth is, all expensive things, all good things come expensive. You have a price to pay. That's one thing I've realized. Yes, you will have to put in something, but there is so much that you develop. You learn. I haven't yet gotten the scholarship, but I'm seeing like I'm now on a smooth road that is taking me there. I don't want to develop this immune of I already have the scholarship. No, I'm still hunting. I'm still very, very hungry for it. But there is so much that I've learned on this journey from the time from the way I introduced myself to everything. Dan keeps giving me positive criticism. Don't do that. Don't do this. I used to ask funny question. He sends me something and I ask, what is this? And every time he rebukes me and tells me, never do that. You know, first ask Google, can you do research? Can you do that? And all that is not just helping me on the scholarship search, but even my life totally has changed. That my place of work, the way I talk to people, and most of these small techniques, I've actually learned them from Dr. Dan. Yeah, so Dr. Dan is available, Mr. Abel is available, but you need to look for them. They will not look for you, honestly. Yeah, so my biggest thing is everyone needs a mentor. You need a mentor on this journey. Thank you very much. I submit.
Okay, good evening, guys. Mine is a concern about English test. Hello?
Hi, go ahead.
Oh, actually, now, like previous applications I made for scholarship, I went to Chambogo just to obtain an English test, proficiency test. But I've realized that maybe it wasn't the one needed in these applications I made previously. So I wanted you to clarify on the discount you talked over at the beginning, said by the other person, I think, so that we can take decision on going on for it.
Yes, just one quick note to make on Evelyn's point. When she joined me, she was very, very energetic, and the way she introduced herself, you know, had closed all the intake for master's students. I only meant a PhD student. But the way she introduced herself, I had to break my own rules and take her in for my coaching and mentoring program. Then we started working on some scholarships. I think it was for Hong Kong. And guess what? We found that we couldn't proceed because they wanted a passport number, and she didn't have a passport. That pained her so much that the next day she was applying for a passport. Now she has a passport. Yes. Regarding English proficiency tests and the discounts, I don't know whether Lois is on the call.
No,
If
she's not.
on the call, okay, maybe you can drop her number in the chat for somebody to contact her. Then regarding applying for scholarships and then applying, failing, it could be that you are making the same mistake over and over again and then expecting different results.
Dr. Danny, that's what you told me actually. When
Yes.
I told you I was frustrated after applying 68 times and I wasn't making, you told me no. It's not about the numbers. It's not about quantity. No, it's the quality. You told me the more you're rushing through, you're making the same mistake several times. Yeah.
Yes. So what could be happening is that there is some small mistake you are doing, because for Abel, I found out there were two mistakes he was doing. One, his CV was not up to date, so we had to overhaul it using the movie trailer technique. that sorted things. And then he had trouble contacting potential supervisors. His emails were very long, traditional, and what. And the moment we cleared those two things,
things opened up very fast.
Abel did not complete the coaching and mentoring program. I keep telling him, you didn't complete.
That's true. That's true.
Was
That's
it 2
true.
months or 2 weeks?
And it was 2 weeks. It was
Yeah.
because the biggest problem were those two. Because let me tell you, after we unpacked that, the lady from Oxford, because she now began looking for scholarships for me. She began introducing me to her colleagues at University of Pretoria in South Africa, at Imperial College London. She began sending me short, Abel, there is this one. Can we try this? Abel, there's one in London school. Can we try this? Abel, there is this one here. Can we? It is now her who kept looking for me for opportunities. Let me tell them again. When we contacted another lady called, she's called Jennifer Lord from Liverpool School of Hygiene and Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine. It is not the same as London School. This is different. Called Liverpool School of Hygiene. Now, when she interviewed me, she told me, "You are a very excellent PhD student. You allow me to put in an advert. You apply next year. Then I take you on as a PhD student. You wait for me. There is a grant we are chasing. We may get it on Rift Valley fever in northern Tanzania. When we get it, I will put in a PhD student. And then I will advertise. Then you apply and I pick you up." Indeed, that's what happened. So she put in the application. She got the grant. And then she got to me after 6 months and said, "Abel, are you still available? I have got the grant. Can I put in the advert?" I told her I had been taken up by University of Cambridge. This is what she said. She said, "I knew you would be stolen." Dr. Dan, you remember that? She said, "I knew you would be stolen." So right now, we are now working as collaborators with this lady. She's doing the same Rift Valley fever, but in northern Tanzania. I'm doing Rift Valley fever in Isingiro in Uganda. That's southwestern Uganda. But she said, "I knew you would be taken." For me, that is extremely humbling. So I was making the same mistake. Yeah.
The funny thing is, if you keep repeating the same mistake, even if you apply for 10 trillion scholarships, you still get 0 results. And by the way, you could be very close to winning. You just need somebody to go into your applications and say, you send those emails to your mentor, they analyze it and say, "Oh, here is the problem." Do it differently. Yes. And some people are losing it at the interview. They're able to go through the sorting at the first, whatever their documents are okay. But when it comes to the interview, especially that first question, "Could you please tell us about yourself?" That's a killer. In fact, the first few words that come from your mouth, within 3 seconds or within 1 minute, somebody will know whether you are fit for their program, whether you are fit for a scholarship or not. The rest of the time for the interview is just a formality.
Dr. Danny, you remember 2 weeks ago when I contacted you in a very short notice because my candidate, he was a very good candidate, very, very good candidate. His biggest problem was the value impact technique of introducing himself. Now, I had tried to explain to him and he wasn't getting it well. I called Dr. Dan on a very short notice. "Dr. Dan, come and help me." And Dr. Dan just popped in for around 17 minutes. And Dr. Dan helped him to understand that, please, even if you speak 1,000 words, as long as the first 5 seconds are lost, we have lost their attention and their interest. We have lost it. By the time we finished that meeting, we knew this candidate was going to get the scholarship in Ireland. And you know what? He did the interview. They told him they would respond to him after 2 weeks. After 1 hour, he had an offer letter.
Yeah, and guess what? These techniques, they appear like strange to most of us. I know people want familiar things, but please come and listen. We can talk for the next 4 weeks, and we will not continue, finish the stories. So let us do ourselves a favor and stop here.
I
And I would
agree.
like to thank everybody for showing up. We really appreciate. It's the reason why we are here, to help you, to give back to community. We didn't ask you a single coin to be here, but it really makes our hearts really boil with joy and overflow with joy when you show up and share with us what's going on in your life, and we're able to teach you different techniques. Our techniques, our way of doing things is very unique. You may even get surprised, what are these people saying? But we've got a number of success stories from people who used unique techniques, because from the word go, you appear unique and valuable, and somebody will see you as an asset in an interview, and they will not fail to give you a fully funded scholarship.
Dr. Danny, I have so many testimonies to just share on that, but let me just, because I know time is going, but let me just slot in only two colleagues. Just forgive me for this. In the month of February, I was attending a conference in Nairobi, Kenya. So I was having breakfast in the morning, and one of the ladies, who is the head of data science at African Population Health and Research Center in Nairobi, came and sat with me on the same desk. I remember I was on phone. Do you know what I did? I put my phone in the pocket.
Wow.
And I introduced myself to her using the value impact technique. Do you know what she told me after 2 seconds? She told me, can I have your number? She got my number. She told me there is a project. Do you have some time to volunteer with me? I said, yes, I have time. You know what? 1 month down the road, I am now on the project, which is fully funded for 3 years, doing data science and modeling in 3 African countries. That is Senegal, Cameroon, and Ethiopia. I didn't apply for this job. And she has put me on the project as a consultant. It was just at breakfast time. The second one is in April. Actually, in December last year, World Health Organization in Geneva advertised they wanted experts. I used the movie trailer technique to improve my CV and to write, and I used the value impact technique to write my cover letter. I am telling you, I am the youngest person among 30 people on the World Health Organization team of consultants. I am sitting with 80-year-old professors, 70-year-old professors. I am the youngest there. I wasn't interviewed. They didn't even call me for interview. They just asked me for my biodata and the photo. They told me I had gone through. Why? In my CV, and there's only 2 pages, by the way. In my CV and in my 1-page cover letter, I used the movie trailer technique and the value impact technique. Over Dr. Dan.
Wow, wow, wow. I won't add because I will dilute. So why don't we stop here? We'll continue the next time.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Dan. We have done 2 hours, 2 hours here, and we didn't have enough. We have not even exhausted, but great talking to members, and we will keep in touch. Yeah.